Alright, today we're going to do a painting in a style I call Dazzling Drips.
So the question of the day is, what is the Peace Dove?
Alright, let's run through the colors.
Primary yellow, cadmium yellow pigment, titanium white, Mars black, burnt sienna, ultramarine blue, phthalo green, quin blue.
Alright, today we're going to paint a style called Dazzling Drips. Alright, we got our kind of our base layer in. It's really light, limey kind of yellow with white coming in through for the gesso streaks. What we're going to do this time is kind of darken the edges with a quin blue with the green, so this will get a lot darker, and then later we'll come back to it and we'll add some gesso. Alright, we just dropped in that kind of blue layer. It's kind of bled through, so we got some really nice blends in the middle with that gesso kind of giving that really blurry look. I used a lot of water to kind of cut down the individual drips so it's more of a liquided look. It took a long time to dry to get that really dry. There is a little bit of wet, but I think it's pretty dry. Add dark on the top, obviously. So now what we're going to do is kind of bring back those yellows that's kind of been wiped out in the middle and darken the edges so it pulls the attention into the middle here.
So the Peace Dove comes from Picasso. Now, Picasso painted it for the Soviet Union. The reason why he sided with the communists was in his own country, Spain. He wasn't living there, he was living in France, but in Spain they had a terrible civil war and a military ruler came out and kind of wiped out the left. So anyone on the left was seen as the enemy, even though it was kind of the legitimate government in power at the time. It wasn't functioning very well before Franco came to power, but there was really, blatant atrocities in the Civil War on both sides, and then Franco completed it by wiping out the rest of his enemies once he came to power, even people within his Partido Popular, which is the PP in Spain, the fascist. And so from Picasso, with that brutal, the Guernica, when he saw Guernica bombed, he painted the Guernica. And then later after the war, before he I think came to terms with how brutal the Soviet Union was kind of covered up in the news. No one knew, or people didn't believe it. They thought it was propaganda. Was he went around on this peace tour with the Soviets. And so it's kind of ironic because he was touring with the Soviet Union as they're gobbling up Eastern Europe. They're taking over, Poland, they're taking over Slovakia, Czech Republic, East Germany is just, all those were supposed to have free elections and they weren't, and Picasso actually stood behind the power that forced that. But, you gotta say the communists kind of helped Spain try to fight off the fascists taking over, so it was kind of a toss-up in that war, especially for America. We didn't want to get involved with the fascists or the communists. And then later we kind of sided with them because they were the only fascist country left. They weren't really doing death camps, they're just fascists per se, treating their people badly, but we said, we'll look the other way. We need partners to help fight the communists until the end of the Cold War. So that's why Picasso painted the Peace Dove, and that toured all around the Soviet Union. See you guys later. Thanks.
Alright, we just finished the paint. Let's take a closer look. So you can see these really dark edges on the top, and you have kind of the drips forming out of that very subtly with the yellow and the white on top to kind of cut that down. And again, it fades into the darkness at the bottom. I think it's pretty good the way this one has a lot of good drip pattern in it, and that overlay I really like it because it kind of gives it a different look. You don't know why there's drips coming out of this overbrush. You can see the brush marks. I was thinking originally kind of doing maybe an orange or maybe even a purple, like little thin layer down the middle, which I still could. But I think it works as itself with just two colors more or less, blue, yellow versions of gray, or blue, yellow, gray. Can't remember the colors I used, but yeah, I didn't really think you really needed that orange. You could use orange because it would pop, but it looks fine with just as it is. So I think this would be really cool for someone, you know, for a particular wall color. This will work really well if you got a green or blue wall or even an orange wall to prop against it. So I think it's cool as is. Hopefully you guys like it. Give me a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe, you can subscribe below. If you want to see the full version, I have a Patreon account. Go check that out, and I'll see you in the next painting video. Thanks for watching, guys.